What up? This is Warren Freeman here with Warren's Vlog, and I'm here to review Smackdown from yesterday, September 17th, 2021. The show kicks off the air with a Rollins Edge recap. We would see at least two more of these. Almost like a full-length recap of the whole match later on when Seth Rollins cut his promo. So yeah, that's how the show started. Then we get our opening segment. Roman Reigns, flanked by the Usos and Paul Heyman, the wise man. They come out to the ring. Roman Reigns basically asks Knoxville County to acknowledge him. We don't get the same reaction we got last week because I don't know if I explained this in my video last week, but you know, they were in Madison Square Garden. New York is a smarky town. So when Roman Reigns said, "Acknowledge me," you had the whole damn building cheering for Roman Reigns. But here you got a mixture of boos and cheers. Also, Michael Cole announced while Roman Reigns was making his entrance that this was the 388th day for Roman Reigns as a champion. And I believe that makes him the second longest reigning Universal Champion. I know Brock had it for like a year and a half. So Roman Reigns is not impressed with the reaction that he gets. So he says, "Wise man, educate these people on why they should acknowledge me." So Paul Heyman gets on the mic. He basically says, you know, he does this whole shtick about how Roman Reigns is the tribal chief, how he's your tribal chief. And then Heyman says something that I kind of question. Like, he says Finn Balor and Brock Lesnar are afraid of him. And he says Finn Balor is afraid of him because why else would he tap into his alter ego just to challenge him for the Universal title? And then as he's about to explain why Brock Lesnar is afraid of him, Big E comes out and makes his entrance, does the lap around the ring, doesn't really say anything, but gets in the ring and holds his title up. Then Roman Reigns holds his title up. And I really got Friday vibes. Like, my belt is bigger than yours. It was cold that day. I just got Friday vibes from it. Then Finn Balor came out, and then we got a commercial break. And it's just kind of weird. So then we come back from commercial break, and there's a tag match between Finn Balor and Big E versus the Usos. And they called it a championship contender match, and I ignored it. I just ignored it. And I didn't want that to ruin the match for me, and it didn't. The match was really good. It was a standard tag team match. Both Big E and Finn Balor took turns taking the heat. And then they each got the hot tag. And it ended with Finn Balor hitting the coup de grace on one of the Usos, while Big E simultaneously hit the big ending on the other Uso. And no, I can't tell them apart. They both have red hair now. One of them has a ripped T-shirt at the bottom, and the other one doesn't. That's about it. I'm not really digging the white bloodline shirts, but that's just a personal preference of mine. I like to get, I don't like to wear a lot of white because it gets dirty easily. But I do want to get that bloodline shirt. I already got the head of the table shirt, so I'm gonna get the bloodline shirt. So yeah, that I gave the match a like. I gave the opening segment a like. We go to Rick Rude versus Robert Roode. I didn't give this a like or a dislike. This match was just kind of here. I do like the pump handle slam, although it almost looked like a driver. Like, I rewound it back, and it from a certain angle, it kind of looked like a driver, which I think a pump handle driver would be fucking awesome. It'd be like a tombstone on steroids, but pump handle tombstone. I don't know, but yeah. That match was just kind of there. I didn't like it or dislike it. It was alright. It served the purpose it needed to serve. And then as Nakamura and Rick Rude are celebrating, General Aziz and Apollo Crews attacked them post-match. They beat him up. And then Apollo Crews challenges him for the Intercontinental title. So now after a month, Apollo Crews decides that he wants a rematch for the Intercontinental title. Cool. And we're going to get that match next week, along with Liv Morgan versus Zelina Vega. We're going to get next week. That was announced towards the end of the show. For matches we're going to get next week. Hopefully the script doesn't change again, Vince. All right, so KO does an interview, and Kevin Owens is usually good on the mic, but this interview just didn't hit for me. He was talking about he's going to turn the frown upside down, and Baron Corbin's happy, but I'm the opposite of happy. I'm mad. And I'm going to be unmad when I beat Baron Corbin. I kind of got Drake vibes. I don't know. I'm upset. 50,000 on my head. And I don't know. I've been getting Drake. I've been listening to, Certified Lover Boy a lot. And Kevin Owens is Canadian, so there's that. I don't know. I just felt like it was an elementary promo. It didn't hit for me. Basically, the premise of the promo is Kevin Owens is mad, and he's going to be happy when he whoops Baron Corbin's ass. Excuse me, except we don't get that match. Happy Corbin attacks Kevin Owens in an entranceway and choke slams him on the apron. I like the apron screen effect when Baron Corbin threw him into the apron, and then the apron kind of fizzled and turned off. I thought that was kind of cool, but I gave the non-match a like. My thing is, why even have the interview, have the attack? You could have just had Happy Corbin attack Kevin Owens backstage. Like, you could have condensed that a little bit. Having a stretch over 2 segments, I didn't like. It was a waste of time. Kayla Braxton tracks Paul Heyman down backstage, and Paul Heyman goes off on her, basically saying, "You have this weird sexual attraction to me, but you can't have me, Kayla. So stop trying. Leave me alone." She asked him a question about Brock Lesnar possibly going to Raw, and this is the first time that the draft is brought up. It's been talked about online that they were going to do a draft, but this is the first time it's been brought up on TV. So speaking of the draft, I guess it's in a couple weeks. I will be covering that. I don't know if you guys watched, this was 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I covered the draft in 2016 in great detail. So I plan to do that again when it happens. And I guess it's rumored that Brock Lesnar is going over to Raw. So then Paul Heyman runs into Big E. And Big E basically says, looks like I'm going to be facing your boy at Survivor Series, which lets me know they're going to do the whole Raw versus SmackDown thing. But he said, which boy is it going to be? Is it going to be Roman Reigns, or is it going to be your boy, Brock Lesnar, or could it be Finn Balor? And I want to take a second to address that. I almost forgot. So, WWE announced online that it's going to be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship at Super Showdown or Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. And I have a problem with that. I feel like it really undermines the match at Extreme Rules. Now, do I think that Finn Balor is going to beat Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules? No, I don't. I really don't. But I still don't think it's cool to undermine the match by announcing Crown Jewel, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title. So although the graphic online is a little misleading, I like the fact that on TV they're acknowledging, hey, it could be Finn Balor. So then right after that, the Usos jump Big E. Roman Reigns comes up behind them and says, seems like he's proud of what he had his cousins do to Big E. And then it's announced on Raw that it'll be a 6-man tag team match. It'll be the Bloodline versus the New Day. And this will be Roman Reigns' first time on Raw in about a year and a half. So that should get some butts and seats, right? Tony Schiavone? All right. So what's weird about this the Paul Heyman, the Caleb Braxton, the Big E, and then the Uso thing. This all happens while Seth Rollins is standing in the ring. So Seth Rollins has made his entrance. We go to commercial break, and then we get all that shit backstage, and Seth Rollins is just standing in the ring. And I always thought that was just weird. Like, Rollins kind of makes a comment saying, "Oh, somebody should have helped Big E," and then he goes into his promo. As far as his promo goes, I went from not liking it to not giving it a reaction whatsoever to liking it. He cut a basic heel promo, and this is heel promo 1-on-1, right? Where you don't take blame for what you did. You blame the fans. I blame each and one of you. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm going to get into it now. Rollins actually makes a good point, and I always say the best heels are the justified heels, right? Rollins said that I used a legal move in a legal match to beat Edge, which is funny that he used that terminology because the curb stomp was banned at one point. And I don't know if they were playing into that or not, but Rollins said I used a legal move in a legal match to win, and y'all think I went too far. But no, it was Edge who went too far because he's a family man. But then he says, you know whose fault this really is? It's you. It's the fans. It's your fault. Look to your left. Look to your right. What did you do when Edge dropped that black gunk on me? You cheered. What did you do when Edge called me Edge Light? Oh, you cheered. What did you do when Edge beat me at SummerSlam? Oh, you cheered. So this is your fault, fans. WWE Universe. It's a classic heel promo. It's heel promo 1-on-1. But I gave it a like for Rollins' delivery. And then Rollins goes savage and he says, I'm not done with you yet. So either I'm going to come to your house and beat your ass in front of your family, or you're going to drag yourself back here and I'm going to finish you off in the ring. So Rollins went full savage. Rollins has come a long way from the Authority to where he is now. So I got to give him credit. That was a good promo. I gave it a like. Becky interview. She basically gives it away that she's going to interfere in the Bianca homecoming thing. That was basically the premise of that promo. The Street Profits come out. They hype basically what's happened throughout the show. I actually skipped a segment. Let me go back. After the Becky interview, we have Toni Storm and Liv Morgan versus Zelina Vega and Carmella. Where the hell has Toni Storm been? I mean, it's nice to see her again, but she's thrown into a tag match. Liv Morgan shoves Carmella into the turnbuckle, and Carmella does this whole, my nose, gets out of the ring, gets a count out. I gave that a dislike. Liv Morgan challenges Carmella to a match at Extreme Rules, and I'm like, so this issue is credible enough for a pay-per-view match? Like, I was so lost. But, okay, I guess we're going to get a pay-per-view match. I assume Toni Storm is going to be in Liv's corner and Zelina Vega is going to be in Carmella's corner. That's my assumption, anyway. But so now we have a match for Extreme Rules. Then the Street Profits come out. They hype what's been going on throughout the show. They hype up Bianca's homecoming celebration, and they confirm an announcement that was made online that they will be challenging the Usos for the tag titles at Extreme Rules. I'm not seeing a lot of stipulation matches here. This is supposed to be Extreme Rules, right? So I'm not seeing many, if any, stipulation matches at all. And Extreme Rules is only 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks away. So hopefully we get some stipulations in this bitch. Just saying. So then we cut to another segment where Carmella is backstage with Zelina Vega and Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, and she's tending to her nose as she accepts the challenge. I don't think that segment needed to happen. Then Finn Balor explains the Demon, explains his upcoming, explains where he came from. I came from a line of railroad workers. I'm not supposed to be here, but I am here. The Demon's my alter ego, and I'm going to win the Universal title at Extreme Rules. I'm paraphrasing. And then they do a graphic with his face where his face lights up And then he turns into the demon, and Pat McAfee marks out like a bitch. Dominic versus Sami Zayn. What's really frustrating about writing notes for these shows is like, okay, so they do the Finn Balor thing, then they go Dominic versus Sami Zayn, and I write that down, thinking that's going to be the next segment, but then something happens in between. So Naomi confronts Sonya Deville backstage and gets in her face and basically says, well, you know, I've been here longer than you. I've accomplished way more than you have. I'm a 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion, and I want my match. Basically intimidating her, getting face to face, backing her up into the corner. So then we go to Dominic versus Sami Zayn, and during that match, Michael Cole announces that Naomi has been fined with insubordination, which I'm looking forward to seeing where this Naomi thing goes, and maybe it'll lead to Naomi versus Sonya Deville. I think Naomi having a match at Extreme Rules will be more viable than Liv Morgan and Carmella. I don't see that as a pay-per-view issue, but that's just me. So a cool thing happened in this Dominic versus Sami Zayn match. I always make fun of Sami Zayn's Blue Thunder Bomb, and I call it the Blue Balls Thunder or the Blue Balls Thunder Bomb because it never finishes a match. If you play WWE 2K games, if you pick Sami Zayn, his signature is the Blue Thunder Bomb. So it's like his I don't want to say crowd popping move because he's a heel, but I mean I know I popped for this counter. So Sami Zayn set Dominic up for the Blue Thunder Bomb, and Dominic countered with a Hurricane Rana out of it, and I popped so loud that I didn't even hear if the fans popped or not. But what really made me laugh was Rey Mysterio on commentary was like, "Yeah, we worked on that. We worked on that." I don't know why that made me laugh, but it did. So they do that. Dominic hits the 619. Dominic goes for the frog splash. Sammy gets his knees up and then rolls him up for the 1-2-3. So that was that. That was a good match. I gave it a like. Then Kane came out and made his entrance, and that's going to get a like for me because Kane is my favorite big man in professional wrestling. So Kane came out, made his entrance. Then they announced the 2 matches we're going to get next week. Liv Morgan and Selena Vega and Apollo Crews and Nakamura for the IC title. They also they also said that this could be the last time we see a match like this because the draft is coming up. So then we go to the Bianca Homecoming celebration. And I gave it a like originally, but as I'm doing the show now and as I'm looking at my notes and as I've had time to process what happened, I'm not going to give it a dislike, but I'm going to take the like away because this segment was just so you could see it a mile away. Like, I would have much rather have not had the Becky Lynch interview earlier and just not show Becky Lynch on the show at all and then have her come out rather than to do the Becky Lynch interview to basically give away the fact that she's going to interfere. Even if you hadn't seen Becky Lynch the whole show, you could have still called Becky Lynch coming out. So Kane and Bianca Belair in the ring, they do this whole thing. Kane gives her the ring, gives her the key to the county or the city, whatever, and then they sing the Tennessee Alma Mater song, and then Becky Lynch comes out and does her rendition of it, and basically says, "Oh man, this is a great celebration. I've never been to a homecoming before, and you know, you're Knoxville's champion, but I have the world championship." And then this is one line that I like. Becky's like, and I'm paraphrasing, but Becky's like, "Oh, Kane gave you the key to the city, but I got the championship on lock." And I'm not kind of fucked it up, but I really like that line about Becky Lynch. She offers her hand, just like SummerSlam, right? She offers her hand. Becky takes her hand, And then Becky doesn't go for the punch right away. Becky tries to walk away, but Bianca holds her hand, doesn't let her leave. Becky goes for the punch. And this was so slow. The whole sequence was in slow motion. Like, Becky went for the punch, and Bianca ducked it, and then got her up in the KOD. And then Becky slipped out of it and hit the rock bottom. I do not like the manhandled slam. I don't. Like, I get it. It's like a playoff of the man. She's the man. I get that, and I also get that it's a playoff of the pump handle slam. But there was no pump handle. There was no road dog. You didn't know? There was none of that. It was literally a hook, the arm, and the drop. So, whatever. And that's how the segment ended. I almost want to give it a dislike, but it wasn't horrible. But looking back at it, it wasn't enough for me to give it a like. So we tally up everything. We come to 7 likes and 2 dislikes. Show grade, I gave it a B. And, this is the last video of the week, so you know what that means, right? You know what it means. Come on. You know what it means. Now it's time to find out who was my MVP of the week.
We all want to go big, then say that. Ho! Yeah, boy.
Yeah, it was Biggie. I thought about using the 3 Ain't Enough and I Need 5. The fact that keep your ass alive. I really like Big E's first entrance, but I figure I'll go ahead and use the Wale song here. There was no one else that I was gonna pick. I kind of knew that Big E was gonna be my MVP of the week when I did my Raw review. Nothing was gonna top Big E winning the WWE Championship, but then we got to see Big E on SmackDown. So yeah, no surprise here. Big E, MVP of the week. So coming up, so we got a week, right? Like 10 days, 9 days until Extreme Rules, right? So next week, I got the Raw review. That's going to be the Go Home Raw. I got the SmackDown review. That's going to be the Go Home SmackDown. I got my Extreme Rules pick'ems, my predictions of what I think is going to happen in Extreme Rules, and then we got the event itself, Extreme Rules. So that's 4 videos I got coming your way. At least 4. I might sneak in another one. And this is Warren Freeman, and that's all I got to say about that. And you guys have a nice night.